It started with a smug teenager knocking on my door, demanding I hand over my Porsche, because his mom owned the block. At first, I thought it was a joke, but what unfolded next was a storm of entitlement, lies, and HOA abuse. Karen and her son thought they could bully me into submission. They didn't realize they picked the wrong neighbor to mess with. And when I showed up to buy their house out from under them, their fake empire crumbled before the whole street. Her son demanded my Porsche because Mom owns this block. So I bought their house. You'd think moving into a nice suburban neighborhood would come with peace, friendly neighbors, and a well-manicured lawn. That's what I believed, until I met Karen and her entitled teenage son, Landon. I'd just finished unpacking boxes, polishing up my jet black Porsche 911 Carrera S, when this kid walks right up my driveway like he owns the place. No knock, no intro, just a bold declaration. My mom owns this block. She says you need to give me your car. HOA rules. I blinked. Was this some kind of prank? Excuse me? I said. I said, he repeated, arms folded like some teen overlord. You're the newbie. The HOA lets us assign driveway privileges. My mom says it's your turn to share. That's when Karen appeared, blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, walking like she was president of the world. She didn't apologize. Instead, she said, Landon loves fast cars, and it would be nice of you to let him drive it to school for senior year. This community is all about sharing, you know. I almost laughed, except she was dead serious. I tried to keep things civil. I'm sorry, but that car's not for loan or rent, and certainly not for a teenager, HOA or not. Karen's tone turned from sugary to sour. Oh, you'll regret that attitude. The HOA doesn't take kindly to selfishness. We keep records, you know. She turned and stormed off with Landon, but I already had a feeling this wasn't the last I'd hear of them. Within a week, I received 3 HOA violation notices. 1. Garage door left open too long. Twice. 2. Car parked slightly over the line. A lie. 3. Yard too green during drought restrictions. Too green? I attended the next HOA meeting to clarify. That's when I realized Karen was not just a neighbor, she was acting HOA president, thanks to a last-minute board shuffle. No one else showed up. She controlled the vote. The whole meeting was a joke. She spent half the time sipping wine and gossiping with her clique, mostly mocking other homeowners who had too many lawn gnomes or cheap cars. I introduced myself, voiced my concerns, and was told, "We take decorum and cooperation seriously. You should focus less on luxury cars and more on community harmony." She actually winked at me as she said that. Over the next 2 weeks, I came home to find my Porsche keyed, deep gouges all along the driver's side. My security cameras had been mysteriously unplugged. My sprinklers were tampered with, leaving my lawn dry and patchy. A letter from the HOA demanded I repaint my house in approved colors, despite no such rule in the bylaws. I confronted Karen. "What's your problem with me?" She crossed her arms. "You're not blending in. This neighborhood thrives on tradition. We reward generosity, not arrogance." "And by generosity, you mean handing my car over to your son?" She smiled. "He really wanted that car. It's not too late, you know, if you're smart." That night I made a decision. I wasn't going to just deal with Karen. I was going to beat her at her own game. I spent the next month gathering intel. I spoke with neighbors, quietly, learning they were all sick of Karen's control. They feared her, especially after she fined a family $250 for hanging Halloween lights in September. I discovered her house was technically under her ex-husband's name, and she was behind on property taxes. I found that the HOA board was only 3 people, all handpicked by Karen, and their annual elections were overdue. More importantly, I met Dale, an older resident and original founder of the HOA. He told me, Karen hijacked the HOA when her husband left. No one ever runs against her. People are afraid. Dale and I hatched a plan. I would run for HOA board. But that was only step one. Buying their house. Here's where it gets good. I called a real estate friend and we dug into public records. Karen's ex-husband, Jeff, still legally owned the house. And guess what? Jeff lived 2 states away, had no idea Karen was still there, and was eager to sell it to anyone who'd take her off his hands. He'd inherited the house through a messy divorce, and Karen had convinced him not to transfer the deed. "I'm done with that drama," he said. "She never paid me rent. You really want it?" I did. Very much. We kept it hush. I created an LLC and made an all-cash offer. Within weeks, the house was mine. Jeff signed, papers filed. But I didn't want to just evict her. No, I wanted her to see it coming. The calm before the storm. 2 days before I planned to serve her notice, Karen threw another tantrum. She left a handwritten HOA citation taped to my door. Excessive car washing, using unauthorized soaps that damage the environment. Final warning before fine. It was perfect timing. The very next morning, I showed up to the HOA office, a room in the community clubhouse, with Dale and another resident, Janine. We motioned to call a special election. According to the HOA bylaws, if more than 10% of homeowners signed a petition, we could force one. We got over 40% in 48 hours. Karen? She was too busy planning a block party for her son's birthday, complete with inflatable bounce house, placed partially on my lawn. Perfect. Karen's son Landon strutted around the block like royalty on the day of his birthday bash. Inflatable slides, DJ booth, balloons everywhere. A giant banner read, "Landon's Block Party, VIPs only." And get this, the bounce house was staked right on the edge of my lawn. I stood by my garage, sunglasses on, sipping coffee, watching the circus unfold. Landon was bragging to his friends, "This whole street's basically ours. Even the new guy knows it now." Oh, I knew something all right. I waited until 1 p.m., peak party hour, before walking up with a clipboard followed by 2 uniformed process servers and my lawyer. Karen was laughing with a group of other moms when she saw us. Her smile died instantly. "Karen Johnson," I said flatly. "Yes," she replied, confused. "You are hereby served," my lawyer said, handing her a packet. She blinked. What is this?" "Notice of ownership transfer," I explained calmly. "The house you currently live in is no longer under your name or your ex-husband's. As of 2 weeks ago, I bought it." Karen's mouth dropped open. "What? That's impossible." "You can check with the county," my lawyer added. "The paperwork is official. You're being given 30 days to vacate the property." She looked from me to the papers, then back to me. "You can't do this. I'm the HOA president." I grinned. About that, the surprise election. That very night, we held a special HOA election. Karen hadn't even noticed the signs posted around the neighborhood or the flyers distributed while she was party planning. Dale, Janine, and I had spent days preparing it. In attendance, over 60 neighbors, all frustrated and ready for change. I stood at the podium and read aloud every unjustified fine Karen had ever written, including charging one neighbor $75 for planting tulips too early in the season, fining an elderly man for leaving his recycling bin out 10 minutes past pickup, issuing a noise complaint against a deaf family for too many wind chimes. The crowd murmured louder with every offense. Then Dale spoke up. "This HOA was supposed to unite neighbors, not bully them. It's time for new leadership." We held the vote right there. Karen was voted out 53-3. She shouted, "This is rigged. You'll all regret this." But her voice was drowned out by applause. The neighbors had chosen. I was officially on the board, and Dale, now reinstated as president, gave me the honor of handling the transition. The eviction. The countdown began. Karen tried everything. She claimed the sale was fraudulent. It wasn't. She called Jeff, her ex-husband. He blocked her. She even tried to fake a plumbing disaster to delay eviction. But nothing worked. 30 days later, the sheriff's office arrived. I was there too, holding the deed. A moving truck idled at the curb, courtesy of me. I even offered to pay for it, because I wanted her gone quickly. Karen screamed. Landon sulked, muttering that I'd ruined his life. "You messed with the wrong person," Karen hissed as she got into her old Lexus. "No," I replied. "You messed with everyone around you for too long, and you finally met someone who pushed back." The aftermath. With Karen gone, the neighborhood blossomed. People painted their homes in the colors they actually liked. Yard sales, barbecues, and Halloween displays returned, without fines. The HOA began using fees for real improvements, fixing sidewalks, adding benches, planting trees. Landon? Rumor has it he tried to start a luxury car review YouTube channel, but with no Porsche and no followers, it flopped fast. Karen? No one really knows. The last I heard, she moved to a gated community in Arizona. Hopefully, one without an HOA. Or with someone like me in charge. Now, about that Porsche. It still shines like new in my garage. I take it out every weekend, top down, wind in my hair. And every time I drive past Karen's old house, now freshly painted by its new, much kinder tenant, I smile. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't petty. It's poetic. By the way, if stories like this one make you smile, laugh, or fist pump in satisfaction, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more HOA showdowns coming your way. Now, back to the story.